Hi everyone, how are you doing? I hope that you all are doing good. So, today we will be having addresses, but first off, log in using the aplusstudent.com, input your name and your password, then you scroll down or wherever your name is and click on your name. Then moving on to language arts and grade 8. So today we're having addresses. So we have the lesson which is formatting street addresses. Now we will start. Okay, so first of all, we need to understand the step for address. Okay, in the first line. Okay, so yeah, when addressing personal correspondence, if you want to address a personal correspondence, be sure to use the correct format and punctuation. So, this is the right format in addressing personal correspondence or putting an address when you have to do some writing or send an email or anything. Okay, so Mr. Patrick Kelly, there's a period. 2495 Kensington Street Seats, Concord NH03301. So on the first line, write the recipient's name. So the person who will be receiving your address, you will write the name on the first line. On the second line, write the street address. Be sure to capitalize it and include a period after abbrev- So on the second line, write the street's address. Be sure to capitalize it and include a period after an abbreviation. So this is the abbreviation. The CT is an abbreviation. It was shortened. Okay. On the third line, write the city, state abbreviation and the zip code. So you write the city that you'll be sending to, and then the state is going to be in abbreviation, and then you have to put the zip code. Okay. Be sure to capitalize the city and both letters of the city abbreviation and include a comma after the city. So be sure to capitalize the city and both letters of the state abbreviation. So if you be abbreviating the um, states, you make sure that you put it on capital letter and include a comma after the city. So this is the city, you put a comma, and then make sure that you put the right punctuation because putting the right punctuation is very, very important. Now, looking at this here, this is an example. Format and punctuate the address correctly by fixing the two errors. Now you have the errors here. You have Dr. Eller in small letters. Hold on. Okay, so you can see that DR, which is doctor, was in small letters, and of course, it shouldn't be like that. So, in the first line, you have to capitalize the abbreviation for doctor, okay? And it's going to be Dr. Ella Vance, and the second line is correct, okay? So, you see that where you have the street, there's a period there, and that is okay. And then on the third line, capitalize the Linville. Linville was in small letters and it shouldn't be so. So you would have to capitalize Linville and see 28646. Okay, so this is the city, the state is abbreviated, and then the zip code. So this is how you write a personal letter. Okay, so we have the pattern here. First, receiver's name. Okay, so let's say we have to write um so let's say that James Murray is a pastor. So pastor period James Murray. And then you have to put the next one is the second line. Write the street name, be sure to capitalize. So next of street name, okay? And you put your period here. And then the next one is going to be write the city, the state in abbreviation, and the zip code. So city, what city are we gonna use? Ordinator city, and then the state is gonna be in capital letter, okay, and it's going to be abbreviated. So you have a comma here, and you say PG zip code 2010. Okay, so this is how you write an address to whoever you be sending the address. This is the right format. Make sure that you capitalize what needs to be capitalized. You take note of whatever error, okay, because it wouldn't be suitable if you have to do this writing for maybe school purposes and then you make a huge mistakes. Of course, that's not gonna be okay. So this is the pattern when it comes to writing. So moving on. So let's have some more examples before we move on to the test. Now, format and portrait the address correctly by fixing the three errors. So there are three errors here, and of course, we do not know what that error is. So we have to carefully look. Mr. and Mrs. Hutchinson. This is the street, and what's the mistake? Okay, include a period after the Mr. and Mrs. So The Mrs. had a period, but the Mr. had none, so you have to include a period after the Mr. And then in the second line, you need to put a period after the street name. So you put a period after the street name, and in the third line, Corona and Y, you have to remove the comma here. You don't need a comma after the state. You only have a comma after the city. So you have to take out the comma here. So those are the three errors in this one. So yeah. So let's see. Here, there's still three errors as well. And what's the problem? The first line is correct because the person's name is just Bella Carter. And then the second line is incorrect because the street needs to be in capital letter and then you need a period. In the third line, capitalize both letters of CA. Now, CA is the state, so you have to make sure that the state is capitalized. That's what you do. So, yeah. Now, look at this one. You have Mary Wilson, and Mary is in small letters, so you have to make sure that Mary is capitalized, of course. It's the name of a person. And then you have Kennedy in small letter, and that's the name of the street, so you have to make sure it's in capital letters. And then in the third street you have TX Texas in small letter. Of course, you have to make the state in capital letter. So that's what you do. So this is the pattern. It's a very straightforward pattern, so you just have to observe it carefully. This is what you use in addressing correspondence or something. Okay, so you have to make sure that your address is in order, because you would have a situation whereby you need to write an address in an exam or something. So you have to remember the pattern, okay? The capital letter for the name, of course, and then if you have Mr. and Mrs. there, between that in between. Then also you have to check the second line, which is where you put the street. So you make sure that you put the streets in the right order, put a period after the street. Then you go down to the next third line, which has the city, so you put a comma after the city. Then you put the states, which is abbreviated, and then you put your zip code. So that's the right pattern for writing an address or even sending an address or something that you have to send. Okay, so let's move on to the test. So now we have fixing the one error. Now there's an error here, and if we do not know what's the error, so we have to look carefully. Where do we have the error? Okay, so it's on the second line. Yes. Let's look carefully. But it wasn't corrected. It's both the same. The Lawrence in the second line needs to be in capital letter, but in both options wasn't corrected. So yeah, now you have three errors here. Laura, the name of the lady, is in small letter. Of course, it needs to be in capital. Then you have Roland. That's the city. The city needs to be in capital letters. And what else? And then you have fixing two errors here. What are the errors? Select rules. What are they? They are all corrected here. So yeah, there's three errors here. There's no period after the mister. So you need a period after mister. You need a period after the street. And you have to remove the comma after the states, which is NY. You don't need a comma after NY. Okay? You don't need a comma after NY. You need to take it out. Then this one, um, the street CIR, the C here is in small letters. So you have to make sure that the street is in capital letter. And then what else is the error? A period after that. And then the state CA. Both of them needs to be in capital letter, not one in small letter and the other. Yeah. So both of them needs to be in bold. Then so Dr. Ella, the DRD is in small letters, which needs to be changed. The Linville needs to be in capital letters, and yeah, that's like the two errors. Um, Mrs. Leah, Mrs. should be in capital letter, not small letters. Yeah, that's the only error. The Mrs. there should, of course, be in capital and not in small letters. Then, what's the one error here? Okay, the comma beside the LA, there shouldn't be any comma there. So you need to take out the comma there beside the states. Then Mary shouldn't be in small letters. TX, the state shouldn't be, they should both be in capital letters. Then the Pickens, the street's name shouldn't be in small letter. The P should be in capital letter. Okay? We would have same option. I think there's really something wrong with the options. But yeah, Pickens only needs to be in capital letter. Okay? So that's basically it for the pattern of the addresses. So you have to make sure that you follow the right pattern for address. So I have 6 people watching. Can you guys send me on the chat? Do you have any question? Can you send on the chat yes or no? If you have a question, if you've done this lesson, try to complete the lesson. Okay? So this is now the final test. Once you're done with that, you'll have to do the final test. I think there's really something wrong with the options from this test. Two errors here. You can let me know on the chat if you have any questions and I will explain. But so far, you can go on and do the final test after the main lesson. Just note that you have to follow the pattern. The name first, the street name, the city, the state, and then the zip. So this one has a problem with the Mr. There's no period after Mr. There's also no period after the streets, and you need to take out the comma after the ny. So that's it. And we've done this before. The dr is in small letters, so you need to fix that. Then this is the city. The state needs to be corrected in capital, and you need a period after the street name. So yeah. Then okay. LA, you don't need to put a comma there. You need to take down the comma after the LA. Then Mrs. Leah, M shouldn't be in small letters. You need to capitalize that. And then what else? It's just one error. Yeah. Laura, L shouldn't be in small letters. You need to capitalize Laurel. Then Lowland shouldn't be in small letters. You need to capitalize the city name, and you need to have on the second. So Mary, M shouldn't be in small letters. T, X, Texas, the state shouldn't be in small letters. So the Lawrence, the name of the street shouldn't be in small letter. L for the Lawrence. So so yeah. So yeah, that's basically it for the addresses. So all you need to do is make sure that you complete the test. I'm sure that you can write a good address now without any mistake. I'm sure that you understand that, because if you have any questions, you can ask on the chat. And by the way, we're with the lesson for address. So in your next class, you will have a different lesson up together. So from any of these topics, if you have any questions, you can ask me a question from any of these topics. We have all the topics here, so if you have any question from any of them, just feel free to ask me and I will explain that to you. So ask any. Okay, bye, Michael. Bye. But if you have any question, just feel free to ask me from any of this topic. But we are done with addresses, and next class it will be a different topic. So if you do have a question, just ask me on the chat, and I'll explain to you. But if you have none, then okay, bye. You're free to go.